It was supposed to be a simple photography assignment. Daniel Moore, a 33-year-old freelance photographer from Denver, had no idea that accepting a late-night shoot in an abandoned hospital would lead to a descent into something no camera could capture. The job came from a small online magazine focused on exploring America's forgotten places. The editor wanted eerie, authentic images for their Halloween issue, and the rumored-to-be haunted St. Elora Hospital was the perfect candidate. The hospital had been shut down since 1979 after a fire in the East Wing killed 7 patients and a nurse. Officially, the cause of the fire was a faulty power system, but the survivors, what few there were, told a different story. Most refused to speak about what happened that night. Those who did mentioned strange voices, sudden freezing temperatures, and something that watched them through the dark. Daniel wasn't into ghost stories. He liked empty buildings for their aesthetic, not their legends. Armed with his Nikon, a flashlight, backup batteries, and a drone for exterior shots, he arrived at St. Elora a little after 10 p.m. The sky was overcast, the full moon occasionally slipping between clouds like it was watching him from above. The building loomed in front of him like a dead giant, windows shattered, vines curling around its brick skeleton. A rusted sign swung slowly in the wind. St. Elora General, caring for every soul. The front doors were chained shut, but the side entrance had long since been broken into. He stepped over a pile of fallen bricks and entered. The air inside was heavier, colder, not just because of the night, but like the building had been holding its breath for years, and exhaled the moment Daniel stepped inside. His boots echoed as he moved through the long hallway, once bright and sterile, now rotting. Peeling wallpaper, overturned wheelchairs, and graffiti covered the walls. His flashlight flickered but didn't die. The deeper he went, the stronger the smell became, mold, old blood, and something sweetly rotten. He began shooting photos, starting with the reception area. Dust-covered files still lay scattered across the floor. The computer monitors had melted into black plastic shells. His lens captured everything, from the crumbling ceiling to the torn nurse uniform still hanging on a coat rack. He moved up to the second floor, where the pediatric ward used to be. The walls were covered in faded murals of animals and cartoon suns, all peeling and cracked. He was mid-shot when he heard it, a soft hum. He turned, expecting to find some leftover machine vibrating. But there was nothing. The hallway was empty, the sound distant but distinct. It wasn't mechanical. It sounded like singing, a lullaby. Daniel froze, ears straining. He told himself it was the wind moving through broken windows, or recording someone left playing for a prank. Still, he followed the sound. Down the hallway, past rooms with broken beds and smashed glass, until he reached room 209. The humming stopped. Inside the room was a small metal bed, its mattress yellowed and torn. A child's stuffed bear sat propped up on the pillow, head tilted as if watching the door. Daniel raised his camera. As the flash clicked, the flashlight blinked out for a second, just long enough for the room to go pitch black. When it came back on, the bear was on the floor, face down. Daniel's breath caught. He hadn't moved, and he sure as hell hadn't touched anything. He backed out slowly, never taking his eyes off the room. As he turned, his camera shutter fired. On its own, he looked down. It had taken a photo without his input. When he checked the preview, the image was blurry, but something was there, a figure, standing behind him. He spun around. No one. His hands began to tremble. Still, he kept going, stupid, brave, maybe both. He told himself he'd finish the job and leave. One more floor. Just a third floor where the psychiatric patients were once held. The stairwell groaned as he climbed. It was darker up there and colder. Every door on that floor was closed, unlike the others. They looked untouched. He opened one. The room was pristine. No dust, no debris. The bed was made. The sink gleamed. The light above flickered on, despite the building having no power. He stepped inside. Behind him, The door slammed shut. He lunged for the handle. Locked. The air grew thicker, pressing it on him like the walls themselves were closing in. Then he heard it, whispering, low, guttural, overlapping voices that filled every corner of the room. He couldn't understand the words, but they weren't meant to be comforting. They were calling to him, begging, warning, laughing. He backed into the corner, camera pressed to his chest like it might protect him. Then silence. A full minute of nothing. He took a step forward, and the door creaked open on its own. He ran down the hallway toward the stairwell. He didn't look back. He didn't want to see what might be behind him. But he heard footsteps, heavy ones, not running, following. He made it to the lobby, his lungs burning. As he reached the front entrance, the flashlight died again. Complete darkness. Then lights. Every overhead fluorescent light in the building snapped on at once, buzzing and humming, casting a pale green glow through every hallway. He turned in place, stunned. The hospital was alive again. He could see into every corridor. And he wasn't alone. Figures stood in every hallway at the far ends. Pale, motionless silhouettes. Some in hospital gowns, others in doctor's coats. Faces shadowed. Every one of them stared at him. Then, all at once, they stepped forward. Daniel bolted. He sprinted through the side entrance, out into the cold night, not stopping until he reached his car parked half a mile down the access road. He drove without looking back. Not once. When he got home, he checked the photos. The early ones are fine, but start from room 209, they changed. In every photo, no matter where he was, there was a face. Behind him, in the window, in a reflection, watching. And one photo, taken during his run down the stairs, showed something else. A patient file, hovering midair. It read, "More Daniel, room 209, admitted October 31st, 2023. Status, observed." He hadn't taken that photo. The hospital had. He deleted every image, burned his gear, and never returned. But sometimes when Daniel dreams, he's back in that hospital. And every time, the lights are already on. And someone is always waiting in room 209.